Howdy folks. So today I have a quick review and teardown for you, or a review down. I apologize for the noise in the background. That is my new file server. It's in the same room that I do my filming in, and I can't really change that. So if it bothers people, then maybe I'll try and look into some noise reduction filters or something. But I'm not really sure what I can do about that, unfortunately. But anyway. So this is the HP SSD S700, and this SSD I purchased for the sole reason. The sole reason I bought this was because it was $60 Canadian, making it currently the cheapest 120 gig SSD that I could physically go to a store and buy right away. And I've never bought any storage from HP at all, let alone an SSD. And so this was a complete gamble. And so this packaging is awful, as you would expect from HP. It basically tells you literally nothing about the product on any of the sides. And the back, all it basically says is that the product does not look like what it looks like on the front, and some legal stuff in a bunch of different languages. And it does not tell you anything. It does not tell you. It doesn't tell you the dimensions. It doesn't tell you the weight. It doesn't tell you the memory or the controller. Hell, it doesn't even actually say that it's SATA anywhere on this package. So if you didn't know that, like, just this packaging is fucking awful. But anyway, so anyway, they don't even tell you what you get in the box either. And so when you open it up, it's pretty much just a plastic tray. You get a bag with 4 little screws in it. You get the drive itself, which is kind of stuck in there. And then you get this quick start guide thing, which is taped on the bottom, which really does not say anything useful. It's kind of like put it in. This is the spec table, and this is the drive over here. So this is where it gives you things like the size and the weight, but and this interface. It doesn't tell you what kind of memory it uses. It does give you some speed figures there, but of course I've done my own testing, and I'll go over that in just a moment. It doesn't say what type of memory it uses. However, from other research I've done, this is 3D TLC, which is sort of expected for something at this price range. So expect those performance numbers to be complete flat-out lies. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all you get here, and this is the actual drive itself. It's not a bad-looking drive. It just says HP SSD on this side, and it gives you the capacity, and that's it, nothing else on the unit. Now, when I plugged this in initially, I dumped the Smart, of course, and so this is the Smart report that I got back. Basically, everything was perfectly fine. And then I did a benchmark just with Palimpsest, and everything looked pretty good there. And subsequent benchmarks looked the same. I did a couple, and also I dumped the Smart again. Everything looked the same. And then I ran bad blocks on this, so I did a full pass where I wrote hex AA to every sector, verified that everything was indeed written correctly, and then I did another Smart dump, and the numbers changed, of course, but nothing looked bad, so the disk is healthy. And then I did another benchmark, and this is where you start to see some interesting behavior, and this is, of course, what you get from the 3D TLC NAND. So basically, when you write to it, it will actually basically drop to 0 almost in terms of write speed, and it does these writes in bursts due to how slow the NAND actually is. So, there's a very serious compromise to do with the NAND and everything. So, just don't expect to get the banner spec speeds other than in little bursts. So, of course, in the application where this is going to go into, it's not going to really matter that much. So basically, I bought this. I'm going to put this in my app server. I'm converting all of my remainder of all my infrastructure to ZFS root file systems. I have one server left to go. That's my app server, and so I'm going to be converting. It's got 2 SSDs in there now, and I'm going to be throwing this in there, and I'm going to be making a RAID Z1. And I don't actually have to reinstall my boxes. You can actually just use rsync to actually copy the data over. Just install a bootloader, and the system will boot up like it did before, but now it's on ZFS. So I've done it on all my machines except for this one. So I wanted to have that RAID Z1 just so that I could increase the capacity a little bit and put a few more virtual disks on this. So not a big deal for the performance. So anyway, of course, I want to see what's inside this, because I wasn't able to get any information about controller, who makes the memory, anything like that. And so I looked for any screws on this. There are no screws on this case. It is a metal case. It's very thin aluminum, but it is metal. There's no screws, but there appears to be kind of tabs. So I think this entire thing is just clipped together. So there's this U-shaped piece on the top, and then this bottom piece literally just clips in. But there's, of course, this warranty void sticker. So I'm just going to try and spudge that off, see if I can get it off without destroying it. If I do destroy it, whatever, I don't really care. The disc is healthy, and it was only 60 bucks anyway. So I'm just going to get that off, and then I'll try and pry this thing open, and we'll see what's inside. Okay, so a few minutes later, and I've got it open. So I did manage to spudge the sticker, and of course it's got that residue on it, but you can't actually tell that it's been voided from the outside. So this kind of looks like a terribly designed void sticker, so I think that'll go back on, and it'll look just fine. And yeah, I just spudged around the case, and there are just some clips, these little tabs that hold it on, so it's just sort of a clamshell type thing. And so pulling this off here reveals our tiny little PCB in here, which is kind of what we would expect for such a low capacity SSD on TLC. And what's kind of interesting is they've got this sill pad here, this little thermally conductive kind of tacky pad, and you'd think that, you know, maybe they're putting this on this memory chip here, but no, in fact this pad doesn't align with anything on this board. It actually has some indentations on it from some of the capacitors, like some of the passives that are over in this area. So I have no fucking clue what this is for. Maybe there's a, I mean, I don't even see any, like, it doesn't look like there's anything on the other side. We'll take the board out and see, but I'm not sure why the hell that is present at all. And so let's just get this board out of here. It would help if I actually remembered to bring my screwdrivers over to my filming bench. So I expect there to probably just be a controller and probably another flash chip on the other side of this board. Maybe they're doing it all in one, but unlikely. There's actually only 3 screws in this board too. They've not populated this one in the corner here. Well, there's actually two flash chips on the side. So we have our controller and its appropriate sill pad. So that's perfectly acceptable. That's correct. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what they were going for. I don't know what the hell that was for. Maybe it's for a different model, and they just make the cases and they put this on the case when they manufacture the case piece, and so they're like, oh well, it can't hurt. So maybe that's their idea. So anyway. The memory appears to be by Micron, which is pretty good. And people keep telling me, "Oh, don't move stuff around. Oh, it's so dizzying." So okay, I'm gonna hold it super freaking still, because apparently you can't, you know, watch things move around. Whatever. So this, I'll see if I can find a data sheet for this memory, and I'll inset it if I find it. They're all the same. So there's 3 chips, which is an odd number. So I'm not quite sure what the capacity is, or possibly they're doing some parity thing, or I'm not really super up to date on SSD technology. I've kind of avoided TLC as much as possible. I try to stick with MLC when I can find it, because it's a much more reliable, more durable standard, but not many people make MLC anymore, and the ones that do, of course, they sell it for ridiculously high prices as enterprise flash. And the controller is very hard to read, but it actually has the HP logo on it, which is super interesting. It's probably not an HP controller. I would suspect it's probably just branded HP, because HP, you know, with enough money, you can convince any semiconductor manufacturer to put your logo on their chip. They don't really care. I'm going to have to get a flashlight or something to be able to read that chip number, because the laser etching is horrible on that chip. Okay, so this is about the best I can do. I think it says H6008 N0FC00. So it's got a date code of 1711, so 11th week 2017. And so this is August 2017 when I'm filming this. So that's all that's on the controller. I doubt I'll find anything on that online, but I'll try just for the hell of it. And everything else on here looks pretty standard. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. A little oscillator package there, little fuse, surface mount fuse. It has 2 LEDs actually on the board. I wonder if they actually, they probably do light up. Wouldn't surprise me. ISP. That may be a program header for config or something like that. And likely that is a power management IC. There's an inductor there. It's by the power connector, so that's probably doing power management and stuff like that. Maybe there's something else over here as well. They may have multiple things related to that, but I'm not going to bother trying to reverse those SMD codes. No one really cares. So yeah, it's I can't quite tell who makes this board. There's no real company markings on this. The only kind of the board is marked here, SSD-HSSE 2258XT. So that's probably the only marking on this. So I'm not quite sure who would make this. It's again 1712 dated, so it's 1 week different from that part there. So this was all assembled, relatively close together. So yeah, I mean, it's a cheap, shitty 3D VNAND SSD, and I'm going to put it in a RAID array. I'm going to put it in a server, and we're going to see how quickly we can kill this thing. I suspect it'll do just fine because it's not a super high write server, so I think it'll be okay. But yeah, anyway, that's what's inside the HP SSD S700. And I'm assuming that the Pro version and the other capacities are probably very similar. Maybe they just have different flash chips. I doubt that they have a bigger board for the 240 gig version and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm just rambling. So anyway, that's this. And as always, thanks for watching.